Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going over the top teams free to play and pay to win for the Snow Stomper Dream on boss on hard difficulty. A lot of the teams are going to be similar to last week, thankfully, and Recruiter did testing on his free to play account. I know which teams did the best for him and I'm going to be mentioning them when we go through them. Okay, now today is a boss which is using Reinier at Mythic Plus a lot. If you have Reinier at Mythic Plus, you should run one of these three teams I'm going to show you right now. Even if you're like a free-to-play player. But if you don't have Reinier at Mythic Plus, I did a little bit of testing with Thorin, and the teams did end up doing fine as well, and that is probably the team I would recommend for you. But anyway, we're going to take a look at the first Reinier team. This was come up with by Dionyzer. It is not even using Sonya, which is nice. Overcharge spell for the Mikola to cast her ultimate a little bit earlier. Reinier going to position swap the Mikola into the front. Lily May, Odie, and Bonnie, all great damage dealers. We're going to take a look at the replay. But for this team, you want to have charms on Odie, most importantly, and then if you can get them onto Bonnie and Lily May, that will help too, but it isn't as important. And if you can get them onto Mikola, it can really help you survive, because with Mikola's charms, she will get invincibility when she goes below 30% health, and that can help you with the survival of the team. But when you look at this position, it is so perfect because both Lily May and Odie are being buffed up by the haste buff of Mikola for the whole fight, which is really valuable. And Mikola deals, I guess, a decent amount of damage, but really that isn't why you're using her. You're just mainly using Reinier to position swap her to get the perfect positioning of this team. But as you saw right there, Odie almost died, and if you're at a lower resonating level, you can't expect to get this type of score. But the crazy thing is, like, on this run, we got over 75% of the boss's health, almost 3 billion damage, which is insane. Like, I mean, even people running the overall, like, pay-to-win team for today, they are going to get around about that type of score. So this is a really good team that you can run if you have Reinier at Mythic Plus. Now, another Reinier at Mythic Plus team is going to be this team option. This is going to be another great team. Yato came up with this team and is going to be overcharge spell on the back on the Mikola again, and the team is similar, but rather than Lily May you have Sonya basically, and in terms of a score, it got almost the same score as this other team. It could just be down to RNG. We can take a look at the replay. But this is another great team to run. So overall, Snow Stomper is a pretty free-to-play friendly boss. Like, if your levels are high enough, then you're going to be able to get almost a top score, even with pretty free-to-play friendly heroes. And if, like, you've been playing from global launch, you probably already have Reinier at Mythic Plus. It's only the players who have joined a little bit later to the game, who at that point Reinier Mythic Plus wasn't a big priority, you might not have him. But then I'm going to show you guys the Thorin team formation after we cover these three teams. And I basically always just say, if you don't have Reinier, try replacing him for Thorin. Change around the positioning a bit to end up with a good position of your team, and then you're going to do fine as well, because Thorin also has a debuff to cause the boss to take more damage, and also if, like, you're at a lower level, for example, Thorin can help you survive a bit better as well. So that was going to be team number 2. Let's go ahead and look at team number 3, which is actually, surprisingly, this did the best for me, and I did not expect it, and is without Bonnie. So this is actually even more free-to-play friendly than the Bonnie version, because I consider more people to have Lily May built as compared to Bonnie with the overcharge spell in the back. Yeah, and this is going to be... So this is, like, I came up with this option because I wanted... Recruiter doesn't have Bonnie on his account, and so he ran this team, and it did get the high score for him, but then there's another team I'm going to show you that got a bit of a higher score for him, using Phraesto, so I'm going to show you that team, because I think for, like, lower resonating level players, the Phraesto team will help you survive better, but for me, for example, this team is getting a higher score than the Phraesto team, but only by a bit. But, like, look at this positioning. It's just perfect. Lily May, Odie, and even Sonya are all being buffed up by the Mikola. It's so perfect. You know, honestly, even if you don't have Reinier at Mythic Plus, you could try using him just to get that perfect position of your Mikola in the front. You can try it. You can try these teams. But otherwise, you can try the Thorin version, which I'm going to show you after this. So yeah, amazing. This got a really good score, and even for Reguto, it got one of almost a top score for him, but it was just the Phraesto team that slightly overtook it. Okay guys, so I did a bit of testing with Thorin instead of Reinier if you don't have Reinier at Mythic Plus, and the team which ended up doing the best for me was going to be in this formation. Basically exactly the same as the Lily May Odie Sonya comp with Reinier, but using Thorin instead of Reinier. Still have the overcharge spell onto Mikola, and this got almost 2.8 billion damage, and it was with Lily May at a lower level. Like all the other testing I did was with her at 461. Now we can watch the replay. The major issue with this team is that your Mikola is not in the ideal position, but at least she's soul pacted by the Thorin to protect her for longer, which is good. And yeah, her buff is at least going to end up reaching the Sonya when she casts it. So the haste is at least going to be off onto the Sonya right now. Lily May is not going to be getting the haste buff because she's out of range, and Odie unfortunately is not getting it either. I tried a couple different formations, and right there Mikola almost died, and she only survived thanks to her charm effect. So charms are going to be pretty important for her for today's boss, and then she goes down later. But honestly, even if she went down, it isn't that big of a deal. And I think Thorin is nice because he just kind of tanks for your team, allows your damage dealers to get off a little bit more damage because there is survival issues with this team. So I think you could go for a team comp like this. The only other formation that I would recommend, and I'm going to show that to you guys, which also got a pretty decent score, is this one, and this is going to be in the back formation. I think this can be another good option to try, because then Sonya makes it to the front a little bit later, delayed, and then she should not get nuked by the boss's melee attack. If we take a look at this, oh no, like, I mean, it's kind of the same, but like she just takes less damage, it seems like, when you have her way in the back. And also then she has the overcharge spell, which allows her to cast her ultimate and get the buffs, like the damage reduction onto your allies. But then Mikola also is at a real risk of dying, and it's really only thanks to her invincibility charms that keep her alive. So basically, I would recommend one of these team formations, or potentially even this one with Thorin protecting, soul pacting the Mikola. That's why we recommend if you don't have Reinier. Okay, moving on to the other teams, we have Phraesto. So Phraesto team is going to be right over here. This team didn't do the best for me. It only got 2.87 billion. However, for Reguto, it did the best for him. Main Phraesto in front of Odie, Illusion in front of Mikola. And I think the reason it did so well for him is because of the survival. Now that you have both the Phraestos in the front, and the Mikola, and the Snowman as well, like basically your team is going to be much safer. So even at a lower resonating level, you shouldn't be at a risk of dying. The Snowman eats up that melee attack of the boss, which otherwise would deal a lot of damage to your allies. And yeah, like you just have so many heroes up in the front that the boss is not really, and the timing is really perfect as well. So for survival, this is one of the best team comps. This is also pretty free to play friendly, but it does have the Reinier at Mythic Plus. Yeah, and like if you didn't have the Reinier here, maybe you would want to try Coco, for example. Like always think about replacing heroes with Coco for another support for damage reduction, or you could even think about using Thorin. But for this team, I probably wouldn't recommend Thorin because it's already so crowded in the front. But that is a really good score. That is a good score team that you can run as well. And now finally, we're going to move on to the overall top teams, right? Because we've done Phraesto, the overall top team is going to be this team formation, which is again not too pay to win heavy. It's not using the twins. Twins are not the best for Snow Stomper. Overcharge spell on the Sonya in the back, buffing up Odie and Taylene. Reinier going to position swap Taylene. Mikola in the ideal position to buff up. Well, yeah, she's not even going to be buffing up Odie. But either way, this is going to be the overall best team formation you can run. Reinier charms are going to be important here to increase Taylene's damage, and then also Taylene charms, Odie charms are all important. But it's interesting, like this is the top performing team, and Odie isn't even going to be getting the value of Mikola's buff. And it really kind of shows you that, yeah, Mikola's haste buff is nice, but it isn't super essential for you to be running. But Mikola charms are really important. Like as you saw there, that was the reason Mikola was able to survive. Otherwise she was going to die to the boss's attack. And so getting Mikola's charms today is going to be a priority. Crafting them is going to be important. So basically all the heroes on this team, they will want charms if you want it to be optimal. Okay, wow, really nice survival right there. Taylene is able to cast again. Yeah, Mikola goes down finally. She was bound to die eventually. Sonya's still alive. Odie is still alive in the back. And then finally everyone goes down towards the end. If my Odie was able to survive for a bit longer towards the end there, maybe we could get up to 80% of the boss's health. But honestly, from all of the different scores I've seen today, this is a really solid score. Probably it will be around about the highest people are going to be able to get today. So anyway, guys, overall, those are the top team formations. Now, thankfully, it is the next week, so everyone will have access to Overcharge Spell, so we don't have to talk about replacements for that. The only one with Snowman was the Phraesto team, so a lot of good teams for you guys to try here. Hopefully, you can get a top score in the Snow Stomper today. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video, and if you want to chat with me more, you can join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.